Hello, this is Benjamin from National Camera Exchange. In this tutorial, we're taking a look at the import right panel options within Lightroom. So right now I've got the import module open and I've chosen my source. This is a Nikon media card from a Nikon DSLR. These are the files I've selected. Up at the top, I've already chosen copy, so I'm going to copy my images from the media card into Lightroom's library. But there's a lot of options over here on this right panel. These are things that we're going to apply to the files or kind of generate from the files and where we want to route the files to go to. Our first option here at the top is sort of the destination. That's also down here at the bottom. And this is the place where the files are going to live. Right now I've chosen an external disk drive. But I could choose the hard disk drive inside this computer or even a portable storage device, something like that. The next thing below this are going to be our option to build previews. Right now that's set to minimal. That would be the fastest way to bring these files into my library, but when I go to develop the images and I zoom in to study the details and make adjustments or tool the files, I would have to sort of take some time to res up the files so I could work on them that more closely. The opposite of that is sort of this one-to-one option. It takes a little bit longer to build the previews, but during my editing kind of workflow, it won't take as long to zoom into the file. That's the one-to-one option where it does the full res file, or there's standard, which isn't quite one-to-one, but it's quite a bit bigger than minimal. So if we want to save some time during the editing process, I'd choose one of these two options. And embed and sidecar, we're not going to use as frequently. That's in case I want to view my raw image file through a different program once it's in my Lightroom library. I'm going to go ahead and choose standard here. Build Smart Previews is an especially important option if we're importing to an external disk drive, because even if I don't have this disk drive plugged in, when I open this Lightroom catalog, I can still work on my images because it'll have this preview file that's sort of ready to be tooled. I don't have to use that option, but if you're using any type of portable storage device or disk drive, it's a really good one. Don't import suspected duplicates is a really important option to keep clicked in. It means I'm not going to make redundant copies of the same file. For example, if I already had this buffalo photo in the library, it would be grayed out or it wouldn't be made available to bring in this time around because I have this option clicked. Make a second copy too is a nice opportunity to start making some redundancy on the computer. So right now I've got the files coming to the external drive, but I could choose to make a copy to the disk drive in this computer or another drive right off the bat. I'm not going to do that right now, but it's not a bad move. File renaming has a few different options here. They have some templates. A lot of these options are going to give you the ability to sort of rename the file or add different sequences, numbers, or maintain the original file name. Right now I've got custom name selected. That means I can come down here to this text and I can name the files what I want. I'm going to call this test for this tutorial. There's another option down here to edit a template that I can make. We'll talk about this a little bit later in another tutorial, but templates can be pretty useful to kind of save some time during this whole importing process. Below that I've got the extension options. Pretty much ignore that right now. And it gives me kind of the example of what the file name is going to look like right down here. Now, apply during import is this next caret that drops down, and develop settings are the presets I could have for editing that I want to apply right off the bat when they come into my library. Or if I have a camera calibration, that would also pop up here if I wanted to add that camera calibration to the file as it comes right into the library. I have the metadata options. I can actually kind of add some data to the metadata of the file and keywords. All of these files are pretty similar. They're all from the Badlands. So I could enter some keywords here that would be applied evenly to all of these files, and that would be helpful later on when I want to find images, things like that. But if I had a media card that I'd use in at multiple shoots, I might skip this now and add keywords once they're in my library right after the fact. Destination is below here. This is where I can choose the subfolder where the images are actually going to live in behind the scenes. Right now I have a folder that I want them to go to. It's my Lightroom Test 5 folder. And the option to organize them in that folder either by date or into one folder. If I do them by date, I'll have that date to break things up for a kind of sub-organization, but I'll get lots of different folders. So I'm going to go with the option to import into one folder. All right, below that, once again, I still see my option to choose that destination. I'm going to that RAID 0, and if I click on that, it'll preview where the image is going to live and everything here, and I can go ahead and import. Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tutorials, and feel free to let us know what other tutorials you'd like to see in the comments below this video. I'm Benjamin with National Camera Exchange.